Mika was the only one that was not going to be able to make it due to her daughter's tennis match. I thought since we got some new people, one new person on the phone, and Rory here is in person, new to the commission, and we still have one opening that the mayor will be appointing at some point as soon as applications get in for that open position. But I thought if everyone could go around the room and talk a little bit about yourself, maybe what you do professionally, and maybe what you do or how long you've been on the commission, and maybe some of the things that attract you to serving on the Affirmative Action Commission. And Troy, I'm going to start with you since you're on the phone. How about that?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So,
Hello, everyone. My name is Troy Farley, and I'm a lifelong resident of Quad Cities. I grew up in Rock Island, and I went to Blackhawk College, got my associate's degree, then I went to Augustana College, and I got my bachelor's degree, and then I got an MBA from St. Ambrose. I worked at John Deere for 38 years. I retired in 2016. While at Deere, I was the Affirmative Action Senior Manager globally. So we did, outside of the U.S., we call it employment equity, not affirmative action, but the mission was pretty much the same. So I've been working in the field of affirmative action for, 15 years.
okay.
And recently, when I retired in 2016, I actually started a consulting firm. So I'm still doing affirmative action as a consultant, as well as diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy development and training. Also with the NAACP, and recently I've become a trustee at Second Baptist Church. So I am not bored at all.
Okay. Well, good. I'm going to value your guidance and your wisdom and your expertise along this journey. So thank you, Troy.
Yes, I'm really excited about serving on the commission, and hopefully I'll be able to have some valuable input.
Yeah, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. Rory, how about you?
So my name is Rory Nims. I'm originally from Rockford, Illinois. Went to Des Moines for college, stayed there about 10 years, moved here about 2 years ago. For work, I work at John Deere. I'm in accounting there. What else? I don't know, I just kind of really was looking to get involved in stuff. I've been wanting to get involved in the community a lot more.
Excellent.
So that's why I joined.
Okay. Well, great. Welcome, Rory. Thank you. Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Zelsdorf. I'm retired. I worked in the nonprofit housing sector for the majority of my working years, also in banking and mortgage lending. My wife and 5 kids, we lived here 40 years. Housing, safe, affordable housing has always been important to me, as well as minority employment and small business opportunities. I was executive director at Ecumenical Housing and neighborhood housing, was at John Lewis Coffee Shop, United Neighbors, worked with several of the agencies over the years, and originally became involved here trying to help a number of minority small businesses I know further their business opportunities here in the community. So.
Great. Thank you, Bob. Vera.
Well, I'm Vera Kelly. I was born and raised in Oxford, Mississippi. I finished high school and I went to Russ College. I didn't go but 2 years because my boyfriend, he had we graduated together. So he moved to Waterloo, and then he came back, and I got married, and I moved here. I worked at Sears Manufactory for 2 years. I think I worked with Benjamin's wife, and then I went to Alcoa. I worked there for 32 and a half years, and I retired in 2004. But before I retired, I was involved with, because I had 3 kids, and they, when they started school, I got involved with school board and all this stuff. I just want to be, there for my kids. And I was the president of NACP for 15 years, and I stepped down 2 years ago because my husband was getting sick. And I've been on this, it wasn't affirmative action, it was, what was it then? It was this, anyway, I was on it when Bill Gruber asked me did I want to be a part of it, and I said yeah, because I believe in trying to make better, different, and a better things for the youth that's coming up. You have to get involved with that. So now I've been here 55 years and be 56 this August. And I recently lost my husband in November, and we was married 55 years. So it's, I'm just trying to get myself together.
Yeah. Well, we're going to help you get together too.
Okay.
Sure. We're right here with you. Okay. Thank you, Vera. Jasmine.
I'm supposed to say last but not least.
Last minute. I don't want you to be the butt of any jokes, but
That's the first I heard that one.
I know. Yes.
So, my name is Jasmine Newton. The butt's now silent.
Officially.
As with our whole marriage, I mean. So professionally, or my daytime paid employment, I'm an attorney, my own law firm, Newton Law, and primarily home wrecker, divorce, custody is what I do. But when I'm not in my paid position, I'm on several different boards and commissions for the community because I think it's important to be involved and give back. And this one in particular, because I believe representation matters. And I think that we are a better community when we're welcoming and when we have inclusion is the key. Because I think we have diversity in the Quad Cities, so the key really becomes the inclusion and seeing that across all boards, seeing that across employment, seeing that at the city. And so that's my interest, and I think this is my second term.
Sure, I think so. Yep.
That sounds about right. So just happy to be here and do my part in working together with Scott and everyone else.
Yeah. We're happy to have you, Jasmine.
So I'm not the butt of jokes.
No, you're not.
Although usually I am, let's be honest here.
And quickly about me, so I was hired at the city in May of 2016. Boy, how time flies. I originally was hired as the Inclusion and Equity Administrator, and I worked directly for Corey Spiegel up in administration. She's our city administrator. In early 2018, I became the Talent and Inclusion Administrator because a lot of what I was doing within the city was talent coaching. I'm the Gallup Certified Strengths Coach, so I do a lot of strengths coaching for the staff. I do a lot of trainings. And then also in 2018, when I moved down to Human Resources, I also became the hiring manager for our police department. So I run the hiring and promotional processes for the police department. Go back 27 years, if I would have stuck with my first job as a police officer with Bettendorf, I would be serving, this year would be my 27th year on the department with Bettendorf if I would have maintained
you
that.
a policeman?
I was.
Little as you are.
I know! And I haven't changed much, I thought maybe.
Knew it.
So, so I do have a great respect for the work that, of all the city, but when it comes to my first love, it is law enforcement. And so I'm really pleased to be an integral component across the street for the work that we do. So a lot of my knowledge base is more focused on law enforcement and our police department because I'm I'm in that building on a day-to-day basis. So I have a better knowledge of what goes on there versus other departments, but I'm learning as I go along. So just a few housekeeping items. This commission meets every other month on the first Thursday at 4 o'clock, always here in chambers. When I put together the agenda, I want everyone to know that you can let me know if you want a specific agenda item on the agenda. I kind of just go forward with what we've done before and what I think is percolating or what needs to be discussed. Some things are timely, like the annual plan or a biannual plan that is now up for renewal. But you can always just let me know if you want a particular agenda item for discussion, for us to discuss. This is your commission. I'm just the staff liaison for this. But it comes to, when it comes to, diversifying our staff, making sure that the city is as inclusive and as welcoming as we can be, and that, matches the fabric of our community. I usually say this when it comes to public safety, on when a squad car rolls through a neighborhood or a fire truck is responding to a scene. I want to increase the opportunities that a small child, maybe of minority status or gender differences, sees someone like them in that fire truck or in that squad car. That's why it is so important that every time we do a recruitment or a hiring process for any of our departments is making sure that we are casting our net as wide as we can so we can garner the biggest application pool. And then at the end of the day, go through the process and end up increasing the racial, ethnic, and gender diversity of our departments. I mean, that's the key. That's kind of always what I foresee. So that's kind of my vision moving forward, any opportunities we can. So with that said, we can just go on through the agenda. Someone want to move? Did everyone get to read the minutes that I had attached to the email from the last meeting?
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. So you all received the inclusion and equity plan for equal employment opportunity. This was first revised in 2019. It used to be the affirmative action plan for the city of Davenport at that time, the commission back and then, at my recommendation, I wanted a better name that I thought was more inclusive and kind of encapsulated what I thought that plan could do. What I want to do, we're not going to approve the plan because I'm still making changes to dates. My titles had to be all changed in there. Of course, the city logo, the one that you guys received, the city logo was the previous city logo, so it was expired.
There's someone at the door. They're walking away.
They saw you and they walked away.
It happens.
Yes, it does.
Often.
I'm updating the workforce analysis that was last done in 2018. So that'll be updated with their current staffing levels and within the various departments and the gender breakdown and the racial breakdown and ethnic breakdown within all that. But what I wanted to do is just have a discussion, or if there is thoughts or comments about the plan itself, anything that's lacking, anything that you think should be included that we need to, because we can add things to it as necessary, or if there's anything to be deleted. That's kind of, what your thoughts and opinions on that. And then my intention would be to make all these changes, update it as much as I can, then send it back out via email form to be voted on and approved at the next meeting, which that'd be July. Yep. That doesn't fall on the holiday, does it?
It's on a weekend this year. I want to say it's
July 4th on a
I want to
weekend?
say it's a Sunday, if I
Okay.
remember correctly. Yeah, it's on a Sunday.
Okay.
So, but so we'd be
So that
meeting
would
on the
be
1st, right?
July 1, yep.
July 1.
So July 1, so it'd be approved at July 1. So I'm just gonna open it up for discussion on the plan that you read, or if you maybe hadn't read it yet, that's fine. Just know that it's in your inbox to be read.
Well, I read it. I didn't know. I thought it was concrete. You know?
Concrete?
Yeah, I thought it was final, you sending it out just to let us know that this is this. But let me read it and go over it, and if I have any suggestions, I'll let you know.
So in 2019, when I took the previous affirmative action plan, we renamed it. We put it on a biannual review, so every other year it would be revisited, reviewed, changes made, updated as necessary, especially with data. So we are at that time frame of a review, so that's why it's up for review.
Hey, Scott, this is
Yeah.
Marcus. So you know this is what I did for a living.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna jump in. One of the things I see that's missing is an action plan for each area that's been identified as underutilized. And what I mean by that is an action plan that's no more than 12 months long that details what actions we're going to take in the next year to try to close the gap in the underutilization.
Okay.
Now, what I found out as I work with folks, you probably got that information already, especially for the police force, since that's where you do most of where your focus is. But I think we need to document what outreach steps we're taking in order to make that net, that we're broadcasting or casting that net. So what are we doing specifically to close the gap in the next 12 months? And
Okay.
What we did is we specifically spelled out for each area that's underutilized what we were going to do in the next year.
And is that, Troy, is that actually in the plan, or is that an addendum to, so each department would have their own action plan? What do you think?
So it was so I worked with Executive Order 11246, and as part of 11246, that would be part of the plan, where we actually identified the underutilization and then say, okay, so now what steps are we going to take to address that? And then spell those out, and then, year over year, we just see how you did, and if you didn't make any headway this year, what are we going to do different the next year?
Okay. And if you had maybe some examples to share, maybe from your previous work that, if you're able to share, just kind of a template format of what those look like, just so we, I like to get things right the first time.
Well, sure. Well, the first thing is identifying the areas that are underutilized. That would be the first step. And then after we do that, then, then we would work with the folks in those departments and say, okay, what are we going to do different? And of course, it's going to include the HR folks too.
Okay.
And like I said, basically it's a brainstorming session, and you get together and say, okay, where are we going to recruit from differently? What our outreach efforts are going to be, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And I do have some templates that I can make available for us.
Okay.
But the biggest part though is the brainstorming piece. You get the folks together that are the stakeholders for that particular department. Actually, in 11246, it's broken out by job group, but I don't know if we need to get that granular for our purposes, because what we want to do is the goal is to increase the diversity of basic, to close the gap for the underutilization.
Sure.
That's what our goal is. So I don't, we call it job group department, but I was impressed when I heard you use the term workforce analysis, though.
Oh, sure.
Because that is part of, an affirmative action plan. You have your workforce analysis.
Yeah.
And other statistical analysis that you do in order to determine what the underutilization is. And then after that, to me, the most important part is the action plan. What are we going to do in the next 12 months to close the gap?
Okay.
And I am more than willing to work with the commission and the city to put those action plans together for each area that we've identified for you.
Excellent. I'm sure you will be utilized, Troy. So, thank you.
Troy, this is Bob, and I think in some areas, a couple areas, especially in the police force recruiting, and that we have tried to do that. I think that some of the where we haven't quite gotten to the method or the way you've stated it is that I think we had found that pretty much we were a body that could make suggestions or present things to the city council, but that as far as actually having any other powers or abilities, as far as that wasn't the situation in the past or at that time. So I think I welcome the idea of trying to have goals and benchmarks and some accountability, and look forward to it.
Yeah. Other comments on the?
Do we have like a list of like what's been done before at all, or like just so we're not
I know
like,
specifically for the police department, I know exactly, when we do our recruiting and hiring process, which I'm about to discuss here in a little bit, we kind of have a system down that cast our net wide, and we go to the various entities to help us get the word out, essentially. And also, with our own social networks, our professional networks, each of us has a circle of influence that we run in professionally and socially. And it's also, you are yourselves a part of that, I guess, recruiting plan to cast the net wide. But as far as other departments, I don't have as nearly the depth of knowledge on what is going into the outreach. In some cases, we post the job opening on our website and wait for people to apply. So some of that we're missing some, but maybe having an actual plan that particular departments can then go to and maybe provide some direction on how they can increase their efforts will be helpful.
And I think, and Vera join in, but I think that since the time that Scott started and we renamed it and everything, that there has been some more guidance, and we have had some success with the police department as far as the recruiting and the hiring, and can actually see some measurable results.
Yeah, what I like about that is, year over year, you can see, okay, we tried this last year. What are we going to do different this year? What are other cities doing across the, part of that is doing the benchmarking, and what are other municipalities doing, and how do we compare to them? And then, what can we do different? For me, the real power is the brainstorm. And when you get the right people in the room and you brainstorm, you'll be surprised with what you'll come up with.
Excellent. Okay. Any other discussion on this before we move on? That was good. Thank you, Troy, for that guidance, and I look forward to working with you and the rest of the commission on implementing the action plans, okay? Okay, so that will be moving forward as far as moving towards the renewal and increasing the bulk of that particular. So the next one, the spring 2021 police officer hiring process. So I will be going before Civil Service Commission next Wednesday to get their approval for our next hiring process. This will be the fourth back-to-back hiring process we've had for police officer. As you know, the last 3 times we've certified list of, I think, 8, 7, and 5. And we have hired every single one, everyone that was on those lists, okay? And due to retirements, due to unforeseen circumstances across the street, and then also due to some individuals deciding to leave the career or the profession totally, that is creating openings. So the next police officer process, so the applications for that will go live next Wednesday, the 12th. And every time we do a hiring process, it takes anywhere from, usually it's about a 4-month process from the applications to the time that the list gets certified. This will be a little bit of a truncated process because it'll start on May 12th, and we'll be certifying the list of however many candidates we have at the July 21 civil service meeting. So this is a truncated because the next academy is in August. So we always have to find out, we always have to know when the next police academy is and then back up from there on the process. So this is going to be a little short of a process, but it'll include of course, the applications, the minimum qualifications review that I do to make sure that everyone who has applied is qualified to move forward. It'll have the physical ability testing, followed by the written examination, followed by the background and polygraph investigations, followed by the interviews, and then list certification. So it's a quick turnaround.
June will be busy.
It's going to be a busy time. We'll have several. Just speculating, probably at this point right now today, 3 or 4 that we're looking to hire off the next list for sure. Could be more than that. But as Bob had alluded to, we have seen success since I've been in the position, and we've been tracking the data. I think we've seen about a 5% overall increase in diversity at the police department. Not only African American diversity, but Hispanic ethnicity and also Asian diversity as well. So that's been good to see. The one thing that we've been missing in the last 3 lists, there's not been gender diversity. I have not had a female on any of the last 3 lists. Don't know why that is. There's, it's just the state of affairs. Females maybe aren't as interested in law enforcement as they maybe have been in the past. But just as it is important for us to increase the racial and ethnic diversity of the department, we need to increase the gender diversity as well. Because females make incredible police officers.
I thought you were gonna say are better.
They probably are. Yeah, I was gonna let you say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I went
More
to,
compassion.
I was at training they had, when they did the fertility, I followed them.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All through, and hey, they had one lady, I just knew she was gonna be on it, but
Yeah. It's been tough. So as soon as I confirm the dates, especially for the physical ability testing, I'll make sure all of you have that. You are more than welcome to come and view the testing process that we have to. I mean, everything we do is state mandated. The physical ability test is state mandated. The written examination is state mandated. So we've got certain qualifications that we have to for both of those. But as Vera had alluded to, she's witnessed that in the past. You can see some of these candidates coming to test, and it's, I get to, of course, see them go all through the entire process and hopefully take the the oath of office here that the mayor gives after they've graduated from the police academy. So that's kind of fun watching. I feel like a big brother, watching them go through the full process. But I'll make sure you have those dates, that if you want to. You can't watch the written examination because that's a closed, when that's boring. It's an examination. But the physical ability testing is the push-ups, sit-ups, and the 1.5 mile run that we have to put them through. But just letting you know, we got another process coming up for that. And so that is coming up. The next item, go ahead.
How many push-ups?
It depends on your age and your gender. You have a minute to do however many, I don't have that guidance in front of me, but I'll let you know. How old are you, Troy? Can I ask you that?
I'm 66.
56. Okay, I'll let you know. Oh, 66.
Oh,
Gotcha, I'll let you know. But that's based on state guidance. So they have a minute to do however many push-ups they need, a minute to do the sit-ups, and then they have to run the 1.5 miles in a certain amount of time too, also based on their gender and age. So. But just this past process, they got rid of the sit and reach. There used to be a sit and reach component where you had to sit flat on the floor and reach and extend your arms past your feet. For some reason, the academy got rid of that particular. That is actually harder. No, yeah, Bob, you got to be flat on the floor.
No cheating.
And we did see that as a barrier because a lot of people couldn't pass that, and that was the first test. And if you don't pass that, you're done. So I actually was kind of glad that they got rid of that.
Hard.
Yeah, it is.
Not everybody's that flexible.
I never would have passed that one.
You had to get it past your feet. You had to be able to reach.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
hard.
based on your age and gender, you had to be able to go a certain amount past your feet.
That's hard.
I don't know if I could do that.
It's
That's what
checking
I'm
flexibility.
Well, but people physically, some people have longer arms, some people have shorter arms. So,
Some people have a little more midsection.
Yes.
That takes a little more of it.
Get over it.
So that's coming up. Review of current openings. I think last time I kind of went through a big slew of what we had going on. We have a lot of part-time jobs out there right now, specifically in the parks. So if you know of anyone that is high school age or even college age and they're looking to do something in the parks or just something part-time, kind of fun, maybe even be a lifeguard at one of our pools, check our website. The one full-time position that we've got that we're looking to hire for, and it'll be open until it's filled, is actually at the police department. It's called the Police Department Business Analyst. This person, the salary range in this one would be $61,400 up to $80,000, based on their qualifications and experience. The person must have a bachelor's degree in either finance, human business, what else? Public administration, information technology, something like that, or a related field. But this person would be really working closely with, or would report directly to the chief of police and working closely with the allocation of the budget, special projects, accreditation. So it is really an overall, I just call it an analyst position, looking at various forms, making sure that the department is maximizing all its resources. So that one is posted on our website. If you know of someone who may be interested in that, please share that. That's an opportunity coming up. Any questions on any of that?
I think I mentioned last time, at some point in the future, I think you're going to be busy before the next meeting. At some point in time, when we were doing, I'd kind of like to look at like some of the other departments we've talked about, how the city workforce is getting older and there's going to be more.
Absolutely, yep.
And so at some point, I'd be interested in those numbers to kind of plan for what the opportunities might be in the next year or 2 years. Because if there's going to be more openings, I think we need to be more proactive sooner, and I don't,
I agree.
or more aggressive, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. and any one given time, we employ, over 1,200 employees. So there's a lot of upward mobility and movement, and there's going to be a lot of retirements too. I know that coming up. Good point, Bob. So the other one, with Malavikas stepping down as chairwoman, that left, and Bob, you were vice chair. That now leaves you as chairperson for the commission. And that has now an opening for vice chair. I would entertain anyone that's interested in being the vice chair, and essentially your function as vice chair is then you are the chairperson for any meeting that the chair is not able to attend for whatever reason. So does anyone have an interest in that? Anyone want to campaign for it?
I volunteer Vera as tribute.
As tribute? Vera, is that something you want, or would you want someone else to consider?
No, hey, I'll try.
It would be great. Trying to keep you busy, and you'd be amazing.
Am I hearing a yes?
I'd second it.
Okay.
Woohoo! All those in favor say aye. We're not even asking Vera. Vera's
Okay.
been volunteered.
That's good.
We need a weird woman.
One thing I forgot to put on the agenda that is exciting does have to deal with the NAACP. So myself, Christina Murphy, who is the Assistant Director of HR, and also Gina Lekvar, who does all the recruiting for all the other departments outside of Police Department. We met with the NAACP Labor and Industry Committee, which included Glenda Guster, Michael Guster, and I forgot his name. John Keeley is the chairperson of that. He works there at Davenport West High School. So we met with them. We've been having conversations over the past year. Right when COVID kind of hit, we started having those conversations, and then things kind of just fell by the wayside with the pandemic, of course. But we've re-engaged in those conversations with this particular committee, and we are going to be hosting a series of applicant workshops. We've always done applicant workshops for like police and fire, specifically for them and those job opportunities and openings. But these are going to be more broad-based, and these are going to be the beginning of a series of applicant workshops with the intention of increasing the diversity. I think Michael Guster put it very bluntly that when he comes here to City Hall, he doesn't see many black or brown people. And he wants to work on that. I says, I get it. I get it, So we're going to start, and I'll send these dates out to you. I'm working on locations. One of them will be hosted here in council chambers. I just spoke with Pastor Kirk today to see if I can't get up at the church for one of them.
That's a good location.
Yeah, it is. It's a perfect
Yeah, and
location.
because sometimes you want to meet people where they're at. So
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
think and it may be less intimidating for some people.
Yep.
To go to a location like that than it would be to come down.
And we, another location we thought about too was LULAC, because you got a great,
Which is fine. We would be open to that. Just let us know in advance. So
absolutely.
you guys can use it.
Not on a bingo night, right?
Not on a Friday bingo night,
No.
because we got scholarships to
So,
raise.
To fund.
Yeah, so
So
other than that, we're open.
We've got three dates that I'll send out to you all, but all three of these are going to be the same topic. Like I said, this is going to be a series of conversations and workshops that we're embarking on. But the very first ones will be, so you have an interest in possibly coming to work for the city of Davenport. What's that look like? What's it mean? Hey, how do you apply for a job at the city? What are the requirements for various different jobs? Some people don't realize that the only way you can apply for a job has to be online. We only accept online applications. Okay, well, there's a barrier if you don't have a computer or access to internet or reliable internet. So we just demystify.
Or depending on their age, if they're proficient at it.
Oh, exactly, yeah. And so the first one, I think I'm just calling Working for Local Government 101, getting in the door. Because so many of the jobs within the city of Davenport can lead to other jobs and promotional opportunities. So essentially, it may not be your specific first love, your first the job that you absolutely want to get, but if you at least get yourself in the door, you open yourselves up to promotional opportunities within various units too. So then you set your stage and your pathway. So those first three that we're doing is just kind of demystifying what it means. Just kind of getting people engaged, interested, and helping them. And then future ones could be interviewing techniques, the actual application processes, and making sure you have all the required information and what's that look like. So this is an evolving concept, but I think it's going to be a good partnership.
I don't know where along the line it might fit in, but maybe at some point in time, if somebody did have an interest, somehow they could be assigned a kind of mentor with the city, that if they had a question or had a problem, that they would have a specific place or person that they could contact.
Sure. Yeah.
So folks, those are perfect examples of action items that could be included in the affirmative action plan.
Oh, see, we already started. We didn't even know we started, but we started. Love it.
Well, what you're going to find out is you're already doing a lot of stuff. You just
Yeah.
have to document it.
True. Yeah. Yeah. That's very right. Yeah. Yep.
I don't recall if I saw it in there, like, for example, when you guys send the job postings to LULAC and NAACP.
Yeah, that's something we do.
You do it, but
Yeah.
I don't recall reading it in there.
It's,
Did I miss
probably
it?
because I didn't think it needed to be in, yeah, but
But I mean, that's what I think
Yeah,
that's what he's saying, that we're doing little things like that, because then
We're
we just
doing those
read it
things.
and the blade spreads it out.
yeah,
But that can be included, because that is the outreach, the steps, one more step the city is taking to
absolutely.
try to continue,
Yeah,
the cast that proverbial net wider.
yeah.
Exactly. So when people ask us, what are you doing to close the gap, we can articulate
What
all these different things that are actually happening that are part of the plan, but we're just not capturing in that format.
Yeah, okay. Very good.
Troy, would you have any kind of a template that you can kind of share with us?
Yeah, he said he was going to.
Okay,
Yes, I do.
okay.
Excellent. So those are forthcoming.
And then the city did training, trying to remember the recent training on diverse visiting, not just with the police, but they did the whole city. I'm trying to.
Oh, our supervisors training?
No, the one, like a diversity type training.
I did unconscious bias. For
Bias
all,
training.
For all supervisors. Yep,
Is that what it is?
all supervisors, because we do an annual supervisor training that all supervisors have to attend. And then my topic this last time was
Implicit
unconscious
bias is what I'm
Implicit
trying to-
bias, yep.
Implicit, I'm like,
Yep.
well, there's a word. So, I mean, again, that would be another thing that indirectly ties back into the work,
Yes,
because those making the hiring decisions,
yes.
we want, I mean, everybody has implicit bias at some
course,
form or
yeah,
another. We
yeah.
all do. And so the city taking the step to go, to put especially supervisors or those in the decisions or in the position to make important decisions such as hiring through those trainings, I think is another form when we're looking at what are we doing to close the gap. That too is another step, and I don't think that's in our
No,
thing. But it is something that we are doing now, so totally agree with Troy. We really need to sit down and articulate all the things we are doing, because I think we're doing more than we even have written out on our plan.
True.
Which we are already doing.
Yeah. Good catch, Jasmine. Well, that's all I had. Anything anyone else wants to share or add or?
Girl. Can't wait till we get back to life and I can be hugging up on her and.
I'm now fully vaccinated and I
I'm
just
getting
feel like,
vaccinated.
I just
Oh, my.
feel that I go to restaurants now if I want, and I feel like I got like I'm Iron Man or something.
I think if everybody would, follow the guidelines, because the people's in high places say you don't have to, and then you do have to,
Yeah.
So, till it gets better.
So another thing, I know our focus tends to be mostly on hiring, but when we look internally, you know, we need to also look at promotions,
Yep.
termination, compensation, and other HR policies and procedures to make sure that, you know, they provide for equal employment opportunities.
Absolutely.
And Troy, in the past, not so much this past year, but we also looked at who the city was doing business with and the opportunity for those small businesses and minority to do business
Yes.
with the city.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, when you look, you're gonna see that you're already doing stuff, but we're just not capturing it.
Yep. I guess if we're not capturing it, then we don't really know what we're doing, or we can't really celebrate, or, you know, essentially hold ourselves accountable to what we're doing.
Right. And what I always found is like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing.
And I think the more documentation that we have that we are trying to do that, the more luck we will have in attracting the people we want to hire.
Yep.
Yeah, what you're gonna find is when people ask us that question, what are you doing to close the gap? We're gonna start telling them so much stuff, they're probably gonna run away.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Flood them with information. True. Excellent. Well, good conversation.
We need a motion to adjourn.
I would say so, yeah.
I would make the motion to
That's
adjourn.
good.
All those in favor, say aye.
Okay, well, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Troy, for calling in. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
We'll be in touch.
All right, bye.
If you send